Hey, it's good, everyone. Twisty here with the Open Sorcery, and today I want to go ahead and talk about saving yourself. Now, this comes on the heels of on the 23rd of September 2025 and September 24th, 2025. Many in the Christian community, especially those who happen to be within the Protestant branch as well as the evangelical branches or born again, what all those different sorts of interrelated titles or aspects of the overall Christian umbrella. They happen to believe that they were going to be raptured, that they were going to go ahead and be saved by God the Father, and pretty much transfigured from a fleshly human form into more so of an, ethereal body, energetic body, that their souls and their spirits were going to go up to heaven and such. Whereas those who do not necessarily believe, those who are not part of the special group of the 144,000 from the Abrahamic literature, that particular number having significance, they were going to go ahead and remain on earth and deal with, a time of trial and tribulation that is related to prophecies made in the book of Revelation, as currently edited, as currently presented in the various translations and interpretations there are, dating back to whatever date it may be, and the overall calendar and such. But in terms of the format of the Bible that we happen to know nowadays, that was decided upon in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea. But nevertheless, when it comes to the when it comes to the event of, or the concept of this rapturing, right, where God the Father, in the Christian viewpoint of a ultimate sort of deity, when God the Father is supposed to come to go ahead and save, this particular group and all that, there is a sense of not being willing to save yourself, not being willing to go ahead and do for yourself. That you're kind of waiting in the wings for a savior figure or someone to go ahead and take you away from your struggles, your strife, your pain, your sadness, your loneliness, all these sorts of things. And that being more so of a collective instance being highlighted by this recent event and such at the time of recording. And the thing about it is that you have to be willing to take the initiative to save yourself, to do for yourself, to go ahead and, whether it be from getting away from these negative things or just going along your evolutionary path, not just it includes in the spiritual sense, but mentally, emotionally, physically, in terms of your body, when it comes to the physical aspects of life in the sense of material wealth or prosperity, abundance, all that sort of stuff, right? Making sure that you have shelter, making sure that you have food, you have water for yourself, and by extension, if you happen to have any dependents, any children, and so on and so forth. But you have to be able to do for yourself. And there are many people out there, whether it's in this particular, recent event or just overall, who are going ahead and reliant upon others when they need not be, when they believe that they cannot do for themselves, are not capable of doing for themselves. And in that sort of sense, you can't wait for a Messiah or a Savior figure to sacrifice themselves for you. You have to take the initiative to improve your life circumstances. So, in the words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it. For those who happen to be familiar with the popular meme speech, the motivational video he put out online, however many years ago at this point. And pretty much just do it. Go ahead and take the steps that are needed to improve your life, improve your situation, and whatever the case may be. And while I went ahead and spoke about, particular comforts or survival necessities for our physical bodies, that, once again, does include spiritually. That does include your evolution. That does include going ahead and becoming more aware of your various energy bodies, going ahead and working towards whatever sort of lessons need to be learned this lifetime for those who believe in multiple lifetimes and reincarnation, past lives, and all of that sort of stuff. But going ahead and doing for yourself, learning for yourself. Now, of course, if you are a Christian, then you believe in the figure of Jesus Christ, right? And the idea of saving yourself is not to wait for Jesus Christ or whatever other sort of savior-like figure in a different religion, if that happens to be your flavor, or any other Messiah in a different sort of religion, or whatever the case may be, or if you want to say in your own life, looking towards family, friends, so on, to save you and take you from your situation, deliver you from your situation. You have to be willing, you have to be able to do what you need to do to get yourself right, to go ahead and improve your own circumstances. And once again, this includes spiritually, where you take on the task of going ahead and furthering your own spiritual evolution. So that does include studying, that includes looking into different practices, finding out what your different flavor is, but also taking the action, going ahead and doing the actual work internally as well as externally, and that coming over time in whichever ways and expressions that is appropriate for you. And of course, that extends into mentally and emotionally, which, whether it be through doing actions that are therapeutic or going to actual therapy itself with a particular psychologist or whomever is appropriate for that. But taking the steps to go ahead and get yourself right, save yourself, be your own savior, and all of that. Now, when I went ahead and was thinking about this topic, when it came across to me, when I went ahead and was like, I have the impetus, I have the inclination to talk about this topic, one thing that I went ahead and rediscovered in that I enjoy music quite a bit, different songs, different artists, different bands, is I came across a song that was released, around 9-10 years ago by a band I enjoy called Crown the Empire, and the song is called Initiation. And it's just funny that, music tends to go ahead and reflect things quite a bit in terms of our own circumstances and all that. It's open for interpretation, but just the timing of me becoming reacquainted with the song itself. And I want to go ahead and share the chorus with you in terms of how it relates to saving yourself. So here we go. I keep waiting in the dark for someone to come and save me, and I've been holding on to something I can never change. We all search for higher ground when the world comes crashing down, but I know nobody will come into the dark and save me. So, that right there, having been sung by the lead vocalist Andy Leo in that track, and pretty much as the lyrics go ahead and say, holding on to something that will never change, and you search for a higher ground when shit hits the fan, but you got to go ahead and take that initiative for yourself. You can't just go ahead and wait in the wings for someone else to do it for you, because there's a very good chance it'll never get done, and you will remain stagnant, you will remain in the dark, you will go ahead and just let things pass by, or you will go ahead and degenerate. And you don't want that for yourself, ultimately and truly. Do you? And that is a question you need to ponder for yourself, and how you want your life to go, how you want things to be oriented. That is something for your own manner of reflection. But optimally speaking, you want to go ahead and save yourself. You want to go ahead and take that initiative, as opposed to waiting for some sort of rapture. Whether it's literally, if you happen to be of that Christian flavor, that, is waiting for God the Father to go ahead and whisk you away to heaven, or metaphorically speaking, and applying that to aspects of your life and such. Now, in going ahead and speaking about that, going ahead and talking about that concept and, all that, usually I happen to recommend different beings or aspects of the divine that you can collaborate with for assistance in whatever topic or purpose it may be. And honestly, this time around, I'm not going to go ahead and recommend any sort of particular beings or aspects or anything like that specifically. In light of this, idea, saving yourself, right? We do look to the divine. We do look to invoke for assistance, right? And in that sort of way, while you can go ahead and view these different entities that I recommend over time, or any you come across in books on mythology or this, that, and the third, as aspects of not only the divine, but aspects of yourself, I am going to say that, at this juncture, it's not necessarily appropriate in regards to the topic itself. But if you are wanting some sort of recommendation, if you do feel like that there's something to call upon and invoke for yourself, my recommendation this time is call upon your higher self, or make the intention, make the statement that in saving yourself, you want to become familiar and aligned with your higher self, or the aspect of you that is above you and is guiding you and represents a more evolved version of you outside of our linear sense of time and this, human existence that we live. And, becoming more familiar with the higher self, or otherwise known as your HGA, your Holy Guardian Angel, or the Holy Daemon. Now, in terms of this particular topic, this is something that we've discussed previously on the Open Sorcery with previous co-hosts of mine, Devi as well as Lono, and also our very frequent friend and guest of the Open Sorcery of T.O.R, Y-King. Now, I'll put a link for this in the YouTube posting of this video and this topic, but once again, if you are looking to invoke something to become more so familiar with something that is in line with saving yourself, then you're going to want to go ahead and do so with your higher self. Whatever that may be, whether it's associated with a particular deity or entity or being or aspect of the divine, or if it doesn't have a particular name, or whatever the case may be for you, that is something you're going to have to learn on your own journey in saving yourself and just your spiritual evolution in general. So hence why no particular specific recommendations are appropriate for this topic. But nevertheless, bottom line being, look to save yourself. Do not rely upon being raptured or saved by whatever sort of cosmic force, whatever sort of deity that you may follow, you may recognize, or anything like that. You may get assistance from, the forces that are working in your favor, but that is in conjunction with you taking action and taking steps on your own to go ahead and become a better version of yourself. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and everything in between or beyond. So yes, that having been said, this has been Twisted with Open Sorcery, and stay frosty, nieces. Peace.